Hello everyone, Alan Mallory here. I'm the author of The Family That Conquered Everest. I'm an avid adventurer and human performance coach. Today I want to talk to you about building trust. How do we build a level of trust in professional relationships? Is this a problem in our society? I would say really yes it is. Interaction Associates in 2015 did a study in the United States and found that 82% of employees reported that having a level of trust in their manager or superior was essential to their work performance. But in spite of this, only 40% of these same employees reported actually having a level of trust in their superior or manager. So it is a problem. We live in a society that doesn't trust. And I think a lot of this stems from the fact that we see in the media the disasters that have happened to some people who've put their trust in a particular person, and that trust has been betrayed. And so it comes down to fear. We're fearful about putting our trust in another person. One of the biggest challenges in a team environment is building trust quickly. And I want to talk, there are a lot of different elements that go into building trust, but I want to just share two elements that I think are maybe the most important, and those are transparency and integrity. I've had the privilege in the work that I do of working with thousands of individuals in organizations around North America and beyond, and this is one of the strategies or themes that keep coming up when I ask people to think, well, how do others build or develop your trust or gain your trust? And these are the elements that continue to come up. Someone having transparency and integrity in what we do. So in terms of transparency, it really comes down to say what you're going to do and then do what you say, not having a hidden agenda. And of course, for managers and leaders, the most important thing is communicate frequently and communicate clearly so that everyone is on the same page and everyone understands the why behind why something is being done. And in that way, you're also able to get input from the different employees and stakeholders and make sure that everyone's view is accommodated. And that's how you manage transparently. And one example maybe where there isn't a lot of transparency, or at least in my experience, all of us have either purchased a used car or new car at one point, and you've been through that car buying experience. And I have found that there's very little transparency. And the problem is I'm talking to that first salesperson, and there are a lot of different hidden small print at that particular point, and even after I make that final decision, I'm sent to another department where they try to convince me to buy additional coatings and warranties, and it's really through fear to commit to giving more money. And then even after I've purchased the vehicle, there's the 3-month and 6 months maintenance package. And if you don't want to do the maintenance package, you of course through fear they say, well, you'll void your warranty if that doesn't happen. So it's a process that I find has very little transparency. And unfortunately, the car salesman and the whole industry has gained a very bad reputation in not having this transparency. And a lot of people don't trust car salesmen, whether it's true or not, for this particular reason. So the second thing I want to talk about is integrity. A lot of people, they put on this front when they're in a professional situation, but then when they're out of that situation, they're a completely different person. And nowadays, more than ever, it's important for us to have integrity in everything we do because of social media. There have been so many instances of employees losing their jobs or not gaining a particular job if they're in the interview process because an employer has looked through the social media and found out that behind the scenes they're not quite the stand-up person that they're coming across to be. So it's important to just speak the truth and have this integrity in all that we do. And part of this is having moral principles, which we all have, but adhering to these moral principles. And the one example I want to share is an expedition example. And the media has really cast a negative light on climbers that would pass by another climber in need. And I can really see both sides of the coin. I mean, most importantly, we have this moral obligation as humans to help out another person in need, but also a lot of those climbers, they've put in their entire life dream, over $100,000 in a lot of cases, years and years of planning, and they throw all that away to help a climber that really shouldn't have been there anyway. They didn't put in the training and everything involved, and they go with this mentality that if they get into trouble, someone else will help them. But, so there's the two sides of the coin. I was climbing on the Lhotse face on Everest when I actually came across a very sick climber who had this cerebral edema. The small blood vessels had constricted, ruptured, and the blood had leaked into his brain. If you don't get down very fast in that situation, you'll lose your life. And he was with a Sherpa, and the Sherpa was taking him down as quickly as he could. This climber came up to me and said, "Water, I need water." And I gave him the last of my water. In doing that, I'm putting my own life at risk, because without the water, your body doesn't acclimatize to the same extent, and I could end up in a very serious situation. But I had to weigh the moral dilemma I was really faced with at that point, and in that particular instance, I decided to give him the last of my water. But I thought I would just share that, because a lot of people don't understand the two sides of the coin. Even in a rescue situation, there are a lot of climbers that are putting their own lives at risk. But in the end, we have this moral obligation to help out a fellow human in need. So there's two elements of building trust. Trust is, of course, the essential foundation of effective and successful teams, whether it's in mountaineering or in the workplace. Without trust, teams fall apart and relationships fail. That's what I've found. There are two elements that I've found to be two of the most important strategies or elements in building trust. Certainly having this transparency and integrity. So I hope you enjoyed that. Take care.